Laughter echoed through the trees as the group of friends, their faces illuminated by the sunlight filtering through the dense foliage, embarked on a playful adventure. Amina, with a sparkle in her eyes, led the way. Her companions included Malik, the adventurous daredevil, Nia, the gentle and creative soul, and Jelani, the wise and observant one. Together, they formed an inseparable bond, a fellowship that found joy in the simple pleasures of exploration. Their journey began with the climb of an ancient tree, its branches like nature's own jungle gym. Amina, agile and fearless, scaled the heights with ease, encouraging her friends to follow suit. Malik, never one to back down from a challenge, swung from vines and leaped from branch to branch, each daring move met with cheers from the group. As they explored deeper into the forest, Amina led them to hidden clearings adorned with vibrant wildflowers and surrounded by towering trees. In these clearings, the friends paused to take in the breathtaking beauty of nature. Nia, captivated by the colors around her, began weaving delicate flower crowns for each of her friends, adding a touch of enchantment to their adventure. Chasing after colorful butterflies became the next thrilling pursuit. The forest seemed to come alive with the fluttering dance of wings as the friends joyfully pursued the elusive creatures. Laughter filled the air, blending seamlessly with the melodic symphony of the forest, a harmonious chorus of bird songs, rustling leaves, and distant animal calls. Slowly, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the forest floor. The friends, their hearts filled with memories of laughter and adventure, decided it was time to head back home. "Come on, Amina. We don't want to get caught in the dark," Malik called out, his voice carrying through the trees. Amina, captivated by the first glimmers of fireflies, turned to her friends with a gleam in her eyes. "Just a little longer, guys. Look at these fireflies. It's like the forest is lighting up just for us." Nia, enchanted by the magical display, chimed in, "I've never seen anything like this. Can't we stay a bit longer?" Jelani, always the voice of reason, cautioned, "We should stick together. The forest changes when night falls, and we might get lost." Amina, however, was determined. "Come on, Jelani. It's just a few more minutes. I promise I will catch up." As the friends reluctantly began their journey home, Amina stood alone, surrounded by the soft glow of fireflies. Lost in the enchantment of the moment, Amina continued to watch the fireflies, oblivious to the fact that the once familiar landmarks were now obscured by shadows. It wasn't until she turned to follow her friends that she realized she was alone in the dark, unfamiliar expanse of the African forest. You are watching the Tales of the Savannah. Subscribe and be part of the tribe. Now, let's get back to the story. Chapter 2: The Desperate Search. Inside the modest home nestled at the edge of the village, Amina's mother, Fatima, moved about the kitchen, preparing a delicious meal for her family. The aroma of spices filled the air as she eagerly awaited Amina's return, expecting her any moment with tales of her adventurous day in the forest. Time trickled away, and Amina's food grew cold on the table. The joyous anticipation that had filled the air now gave way to a growing sense of worry. Fatima's heart tightened with each passing minute, a knot of dread forming in the pit of her stomach. She stepped outside, where her husband, Samba, sat with a friend, engaged in animated storytelling beneath the canopy of stars. "Samba," Fatima called out, her voice edged with concern. "Have you seen Amina? She should have been home by now." Samba paused, glancing at his friend, then turned to Fatima with a reassuring smile. "She's probably lost track of time, exploring with her friends. Don't worry, she'll be home soon." But worry gripped Fatima's heart, refusing to let go. Unable to shake off the unsettling feeling, she decided to seek answers from the source. She walked toward the edge of the village where the forest loomed, her steps quickening with each passing moment. In the distance, she spotted 3 small figures emerging from the shadows of the trees. Relief flooded her, and she muttered a silent prayer of gratitude. However, as they drew nearer, dread clawed its way back. Amina was not among them. "Where's Amina?" Fatima's voice quivered as she approached the trio. The friends exchanged nervous glances, their faces painted with concern. Malik, usually brimming with confidence, stammered, We thought she was right behind us. She was watching the fireflies a bit longer." Nia, her eyes wide with worry, added, "We didn't realize she wasn't with us until we came out of the forest." Jelani, usually composed, looked around as if expecting Amina to appear any moment. "We thought she'd catch up. We didn't think she'd get lost." Fatima's panic escalated. Amina. Amina, she called out into the darkening forest, her voice desperate and tinged with fear. No response came, and the silence that followed was deafening. Chapter 3, The Eerie Silence.
Malik? Nia? Jelani?
Amina called out tentatively, her voice barely more than a hushed murmur. The names echoed through the darkness, but there was no response. Only the haunting silence of the night answered her, amplifying the sense of isolation that wrapped around her like a tightening cloak. The gentle rustling of leaves turned into ominous whispers, and the distant calls of unseen creatures created a symphony of haunting sounds that sent shivers down her spine. As Amina ventured deeper into the mysterious silence of the night, she couldn't shake the feeling that unseen eyes were watching her. The tears that welled in her eyes blurred her vision, and she stood frozen, the isolation weighing heavy on her heart. It was then that she noticed a subtle shift in the atmosphere. The fireflies, which had danced around her like ethereal spirits, began to organize themselves. Amina wiped away her tears, her gaze fixed on the mesmerizing display unfolding before her. The tiny, glowing insects arranged themselves into a radiant path, leading through the shadowy labyrinth of trees. Hesitant yet hopeful, Amina took a step forward, following the illuminated trail. The fireflies fluttered around her, their collective glow casting a soft radiance on the forest floor. Amina's fear began to go away as the magical display enveloped her, their light providing both comfort and direction in the darkness. In a delightful twist, the fireflies, as if choreographed by nature itself, came together to form various shapes in the night sky. Amina's favorite, a butterfly, materialized with delicate grace. She couldn't contain her joy and giggled, clapping her hands in applause at the enchanting display created just for her. As Amina followed the mesmerizing dance of the fireflies, the once daunting forest transformed into a canvas of magic. The fireflies led her through twists and turns, weaving a path that defied the eerie silence. Amina, now filled with awe, trusted the luminescent guide that had appeared in her darkest hour. Finally, the radiant trail of fireflies guided Amina to the edge of the forest. As she emerged into the clearing, relief washed over her, and her eyes met the tearful gaze of her worried mother. Fatima, overwhelmed with emotion, rushed forward and embraced Amina tightly. Her father, Samba, joined the embrace, the worry lines on his face fading away. To Amina's surprise, the entire village had gathered at the edge of the forest, lanterns in hand, ready to embark on a search for their lost friend. The fireflies, now a swirling constellation above them, captured the villagers' attention. A collective gasp echoed through the crowd as the tiny lights converged to form an angelic figure in the night sky. The villagers, witnessing the magical display, erupted into cheers and applause. From that day forward, whenever darkness threatened to shroud the path of a lost villager, the call would go out to their friends, the fireflies, who would weave their mystical dance to guide the way home. Thank you for watching our story, and we hope you enjoyed it. What lessons did you draw from this story? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and be part of the tribe. Thank you for watching The Tales of the Savannah. We will see you next time, in the Savannah.